Welcome back to the channel Coins Collector. I am so glad you are here today because we are about to talk about one of the most fascinating topics in United States coin history. Get ready because this is not just another ordinary dime. This is the 1987 D Roosevelt dime. A coin that most people would pass by without a second thought. A coin that you might find rolling around in change, hiding at the bottom of a jar, or tucked away in an old collection. But what if I told you that this small piece of metal, a simple 10-cent piece struck at the Denver Mint in 1987, has a story that could turn it from pocket change into life-changing money? That is not an exaggeration. Some of these dimes have been known to sell for incredible amounts of money. We are talking about current market values that can reach as high as $216,000. Imagine that. 10 cents suddenly worth over $200,000. That is the kind of story that excites collectors, treasure hunters, and anyone who loves the thrill of finding something rare and valuable in the most unexpected places. Now, before we get deep into the exact value and the way the market views this coin, let us take a step back in time and explore the history. Because every coin has a history. Every coin carries with it a moment in time, a decision by the mint, and a legacy that stretches through the pockets and purses of millions of Americans. The 1987 D Roosevelt dime is no exception. In fact, its story is tied to decades of American history. The Roosevelt dime series itself began in 1946, created to honor the memory of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who passed away the year before. Roosevelt was beloved by many Americans, not only for his leadership through the Great Depression and the Second World War but also because of his personal struggle with polio. His connection to the March of Dimes campaign against polio made the choice of his portrait on the 10-cent coin especially fitting. For generations, the Roosevelt dime has been a symbol of strength, recovery, and resilience. By 1987, the series had already been circulating for over 4 decades, familiar to every hand that spent or saved coins. The Denver Mint, which struck the 1987 D dime, had long been one of the main centers of coin production in the United States. Millions upon millions of these dimes were struck that year. So the first question that comes to mind is simple. If there were millions of these coins made, how could one single dime become worth more than $200,000? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and the strange quirks of coin production. While the average 1987 D dime is worth only face value or a small premium to collectors, there are certain examples that stand out because of their immaculate preservation or rare minting varieties. Condition is everything in numismatics. A dime that has been in circulation, passing through countless hands, will have scratches, nicks, and wear. That dime is common and not worth much more than 10 cents. But a dime that never entered circulation, a dime that was preserved in pristine condition, can command significant value. Grading services evaluate these coins and give them a rating, often on a 70-point scale, and the highest grades can multiply value many times over. Then there are errors. Coins that were struck off-center, coins that show doubling in the lettering or design, coins that have unusual metal compositions, or coins that carry strange minting defects can all become treasures for collectors. The 1987 D dime has a few known varieties, and when one of these coins is combined with perfect or near perfect condition, the value can skyrocket. This is where the story of the dime worth $216,000 comes in. Imagine a collector or dealer finding a dime so perfect, so rare in its qualities, that bidders line up at auction to fight over it. The coin becomes more than a piece of money. It becomes a trophy, a symbol of rarity that only one person can own. That is why a simple 10-cent coin from 1987 can sell for more than the price of a luxury car or even a house. The world of coin collecting is full of these stories, and each story inspires new generations of people to check their pockets, their change jars, and their family coin albums. So when we welcome you back today, it is not just to look at another coin. It is to open the door to a story about value, history, and discovery. The 1987 D Roosevelt dime is an invitation to learn more about how coins are made, why some survive in perfect condition, and how the market decides the worth of a small piece of metal. It is also a reminder that treasure can be hidden in plain sight. You might think of treasure as buried in the ground or locked away in a chest. But sometimes treasure jingles in your pocket without you even knowing that. In today's video we are going to explore the full background of this dime. We will talk about the Denver Mint in 1987, the production numbers, and the conditions that make certain dimes valuable. We will break down how professional graders look at these coins, how auctions have set record prices, and what you should look for if you want to search your own coins. We will dive into the world of mint errors, talk about why collectors prize them so highly, and explain how you can tell the difference between a valuable coin and an ordinary one. And of course, we will cover the headline number. $216,000. That is the market value that has made headlines and turned heads in the collecting world. Think about the possibilities. Right now, somewhere out there, an unsuspecting person might be holding a coin worth a fortune without even realizing it. That person might be you, or it might be a neighbor, or it might be a child who inherits an old jar of coins from a grandparent. That is what makes this hobby so thrilling. Every coin has a story, and every pocket of change is a chance at discovery. So as we begin this journey together, get comfortable, stay tuned, and open your mind to the idea that small things can hold great value. The 1987 D Roosevelt dime proves it. Today's video is not only about coins, it is about history, economics, collecting, and the human fascination with rarity. It is about the way we assign meaning and value to objects that most people ignore. Welcome back to the channel, welcome to another deep dive, and welcome to the exciting story of the 1987 D dime that could be worth over $200,000. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and exciting discoveries in the world of United States coins. We are talking about the 1988 D Roosevelt dime, a small piece of change that many of us overlook every single day but in some cases has been found to be worth staggering amounts of money. Yes, you heard that right. Some examples of the 1988 D dime have sold for incredible prices at auction with values reaching over $211,000. It is hard to believe that a 10-cent coin could be worth as much as a brand new house or a luxury sports car, but that is exactly the story we are going to unfold here today. This is not just a discussion of the dime itself but a journey through American coin history, the reasons why such coins can become so valuable, and how you as a collector or even a casual coin owner might be able to spot one of these treasures hiding in your pocket change or in an old jar of coins sitting in your drawer. First, let us set the stage with the coin itself. The dime in the United States has a long history. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946, right after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He had been a guiding figure through the Great Depression and World War II, and he was also closely associated with the March of Dimes charity campaign. To honor him, the United States Mint replaced the Mercury dime with a new design featuring his profile on the obverse. Since then the Roosevelt dime has been in continuous production. It may not have the artistic flair of earlier coins, but it carries deep historical meaning. By the time we reached the year 1988, the Roosevelt dime had already been struck for more than 4 decades. The Denver Mint, marked with the small d mint mark, was producing millions upon millions of dimes each year. In fact, hundreds of millions of dimes were made in 1988 alone. With such a huge supply, it is natural to assume that none of them could be worth more than their face value. But this is where the story takes a turn. Within that enormous production run, certain examples have characteristics that set them apart. These rare varieties or high-grade survivors can fetch astonishing sums at auction. The particular example that made headlines is a 1988 D dime that sold for over $211,000. Now, what makes a dime from this era so special? After all, it is not made of silver like pre-1965 dimes. It is not ancient or colonial. It is a modern clad coin composed of copper and nickel. Yet, the value lies in the rarity of condition and the small details of minting errors that transform an ordinary coin into a true treasure. Collectors prize coins that are preserved in the highest possible condition. When a coin comes straight from the mint and is stored carefully without scratches, wear, or blemishes, it may achieve a grade known as mint state. The highest levels of mint state grading, such as MS68 or MS69, are almost impossible to find for coins struck in such large numbers and circulated so widely. If even one example survives in that pristine condition, it becomes a trophy piece for serious collectors. That rarity of perfection can drive prices into the stratosphere. In addition to condition rarity, some coins from the 1988 D dime issue have notable minting anomalies. These could be doubled dies, off-center strikes, or transitional errors where a coin was struck with mismatched dies. Such errors are incredibly scarce and they excite collectors who specialize in varieties. When an error coin also happens to be preserved in top condition, you have the recipe for a record-breaking auction result. Now let us take a moment to reflect on what this means for everyday people. Imagine going through your pocket change and pulling out a dime that looks ordinary at first glance. But upon closer inspection and with expert grading, that same dime could be worth tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is the thrill of coin collecting. That is the magic of numismatics. It is not just about the monetary value but about the hidden stories and the hunt for treasures that connect us to history. The 1988 D dime serves as a reminder that modern coins are not to be ignored. Too often collectors focus only on older silver coins or gold issues. But in reality, even the copper-nickel-clad coins of the late 20th century can yield surprises. The fact that one of them has reached a value of $211,000 proves that our everyday pocket change can still hold secrets. It is important for collectors and enthusiasts to educate themselves on the key signs of valuable dimes. Look for strong strikes, sharp details, and coins that appear flawless under magnification. Pay attention to mint marks and study the known varieties. Reference trusted coin guides and auction records. And if you believe you have an exceptional example, consider submitting it to a professional grading service. A certified grade can make all the difference in determining the market value of your coin. Speaking of market value, the coin world is always changing. Prices rise and fall depending on demand, the economy, and collector interest. Right now, high-grade modern coins are gaining attention. The story of the 1988 D dime reaching $211,000 has inspired more collectors to hunt for these overlooked treasures. This increased demand keeps values strong. Auction houses continue to report enthusiastic bidding when a rare example comes to the block. Beyond the money, there is also the cultural and historical side of the story. The Roosevelt dime represents an era of American resilience and leadership. Every time we handle one, we are reminded of the legacy of President Roosevelt and his fight against polio. The coin connects us not only to history but also to the countless hands it may have passed through. A dime could have traveled across states, been used in a vending machine, or sat in a jar for decades before being rediscovered. Each coin carries its own journey. So as we welcome you back into the world of numismatics on this channel, let this be a lesson. Never underestimate the power of small change. Take the time to check your coins. Share your finds with the community. Who knows, the next great discovery might be waiting in your own home. To wrap up this introduction, we will continue exploring the details of the 1988 D Roosevelt dime. We will look at its design, its place in the series, the specific qualities that make certain examples valuable, and the stories of record-breaking sales. We will also talk about how you can protect and store your coins, and how to navigate the world of grading and auctions. Our goal is to bring you closer to the excitement of coin collecting and to inspire you to start your own search for hidden treasures. Remember, this is more than just a hobby. It is a way of preserving history, of connecting with people across generations, and of finding joy in the unexpected. The 1988 D dime might be small in size, but it carries a story that is larger than life. So stay tuned as we dive deeper into its history, its value, and the fascinating world of rare coins that continue to surprise us all.